Check. What is going on, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to a unplanned live stream back in the Commander 114, the upcoming release for the Commander 114 non-turbocharged this time, sitting on the lovely ramp of Kern Valley, California. Man, it is time to just sit back and chill and have ourselves a nice little flight in the Commander non-turbocharged version tonight. We're going to have I got a fun little flight for us. We're going to take off out of Kern Valley, fly west out over towards the coastline, track northbound. We're going to use the RNAV 511 to find Hearst Castle, and then from Hearst Castle we're going to go up all the way to just south of Monterey. There's a little strip that I found in the mountains that I don't know why or how there's a strip up there, but we're going to land, and well, we're going to try to land. It's literally in the side of a cliff. Kind of looks like Lucla or something like that. And it's gonna be a fun little flight. Should be about the same mileage as we flew yesterday, or a couple days ago rather. I don't know what day it is, y'all. I was on a 4-day trip. We had a crazy day yesterday. I'm not even supposed to be home till tomorrow morning, but we had an international diversion. Another something happened, and then another something happened, and then I ended up timing out, and I made it home today. So that's why we're able to go live. But this is going to be a fun one. I know the 220 is out. 220 hype. Everyone want to be flying the 220. I just needed to. There's a lot going on with the 220. There's a lot going on with the 220. We'll leave it at that. We'll probably end up flying it here pretty soon, but I'm in no rush to dive into a regional jet full of glass panels, if you know what I'm saying. So anyway, let's have some fun with the Commander 114. I'll show you guys some new features of the aircraft, and it's going to be a fun one. We'll just be able to hang out and catch up finally. So I feel like it's been gone almost a whole week. Anyway, Hotshot, what's up, my man? Thank you for the 36 months of support. How many years? Well, that'd be 12, 24, 36. That'd be 3 years, my man. 3 years, Hotshot. Dude, thank you so much for the support. Hotshot, of course, Boris Audio Works with the soundscape for this aircraft, which is absolutely an awesome an awesome sound setup. Look at this. So I'm running Beyond ATC not Beyond ATC. I'm running Iveo and Say Intentions AI. So we have Say Intentions AI traffic and ATC, and then we also have Iveo real players. I think Vodka's in the Bonanza, and I think FS guy is in here somewhere. It looks like someone's at a Caravan, but so we're gonna mix it up. We'll see how it rolls today. I got a nice new paint job. We got the gold. I got you loud and clear. I don't know if you can hear me. I think my radio might be off. We'll see. But new livery today. We got the green and gold. I thought this livery was pretty spicy. We'll do a little pre-flight. And I hope you guys enjoy the stream. To the handful of you that decided that my last Commander stream was just not up to your standards of GA aviation knowledge, I don't apologize. So you just don't have to watch the video. There was a comment thread that started. I initially thought it was a troll because I hadn't seen any comments like that, and it was like spamming all of the comments, and I'm like, okay, it's a troll. But apparently we made the news on the AvSim forums about how shite my last stream was in the Commander because we didn't go over everything. But if you do want to look at the RNAV 511, we'll be using that one today, which is pretty cool. So, all right. Let's see. Billy B16 is in the house. 41 months. Thank you so much for the support, my man. Bills Mafia. Time to satisfy the AvSim dwellers. Oh, yeah. We're going to satisfy the AvSim dwellers today. Bills. Well, you're never going to satisfy the AvSim. People have been raging about the 220 on Reddit. And I was like, man, is AvSim below Reddit? I don't know. Like, am I more? Yeah, I don't know. It's pretty low blow there. The AvSim dwellers got me on the Commander stream. What's up, Bills Mafia? T-Tut's in the house. My man, good to see you. So glad this is actually GA. I thought you might pull a quick one on us and spin around to show us you're really in the 220. Man, thank you, Tuco. I appreciate the $5 super chat, man. I thought about it long and hard. I got to the office here a little bit early. I was working on a pre-recorded video and some other stuff behind the scenes that I can't tell you about. And it was really, I was tempted to do 220 stuff, but I don't know, man. We'll talk about it. We'll talk about the 220 once we get up and cruise. Let's get this airplane fired up. Let's get it on route, and I'll show you our route of flight, and then we'll just sit back, relax. I got myself a nice little matcha here. I had a coffee actually, house that, and then I got a matcha, and I'm ready to just relax for the rest of the evening. So let's rock and roll. That's you in the Grand Caravan. Ignore the F's and boomers. There you go. Okay, so that is Flight Sim Guy in, and so it's crazy. So we got all kinds of traffic today. Should be kind of fun to see how this. See how this works out. Flight Game, what's up? Great great previous Commander stream. I'm excited for this plane and that strike indicator. Have you worked it? Yes. So Flight Game, thank you so much for your kind words, man. I actually flew. So I'm recording a video. Well, I already recorded it. I just need to finish the edit. I might actually finish it tonight, where I did a slight tutorial with the RNAV 511, which we're going to use right now. And the strike finder was going off because I was doing a quick flight in Las Vegas, New Mexico, up to Angel Fire, New Mexico, in the Commander. And there were some thunderstorms going off, and you could see the strike finder popping. It was pretty cool. So yeah, the strike finder I think is one of the coolest pieces of technology we've ever seen implemented in the sim. Brings me right back to my freight days. So it's pretty sweet little piece of kit. So let's rock and roll. Let's get this airplane pre-flighted. I don't have any plugs on this one. It looks like. I already pulled all the plugs, but you can see we do our little pre-flight here. You got the cowl flaps open, intake. No turbocharger on this aircraft today, so we are rocking the old school. She's a dirty bird, though. We are rocking the old school naturally aspirated engine on this one. So one thing I did see in Nick's video, look at the rudder. Did you guys watch? I highly recommend. The coolest video I've seen in a long time. Was BlackSquare's video where Nick was doing the aerodynamics testing in the flight model of this aircraft, and he was doing he was basically Bob Hoover 2.0 with uh-oh, did I jam my ailerons? What happened here? Basically Bob Hoover 2.0 doing flying and showing you the aerodynamics of this aircraft. But you see how there is an interconnect. There is a interconnect between the rudder and the aileron there. That's, makes for, I mean, this airplane, it's literally the best of a bunch of different aircraft in the light GA space, and they all put those good features into one hot rod of an airplane, and that's this one right here. So it's pretty neat. We'll open the door. We'll get our baggage compartment open here as well. Oh, I don't think I can open the door because it's latched from the inside, so we'll leave that baggage door open. We'll finish our pre-flight. Come around here. We got the trim following. Stab. That looks good. Rudder looks good. Yeah, this airplane's clean. I'm running 5X on the failures on this one. I think 10X was a little overzealous on our first flight. Key 6, my man, how you doing? He says, so how much weight did that gold paint add? Yeah, a lot. I love that. I love this. You can knock on that. Someone's keying the mic. But look at, I love how it's like a gold and green. It's real dark green on there. It looks so good. All right, we'll close this. And what I didn't realize is you can walk up on top of the wing. I think that's so cool. And then you would hop in. Look at this. I mean, that's as close to getting in a real Commander as you're ever going to get in Flight Sim World. I mean, you just walk up on top of the wing, open the door, and in we go. Whoops. There we go. There's the right view we're looking for. Did I unmute the sim sounds? Oh, there we go. Sorry, I had them down pretty low. Paint job is low-key oogly. Oh, get out of here, Mr. Martini. Oogly like ugly? No, dude. Not ugly. Not ugly indeed. I swear I just heard a chicken. Did you guys hear that? That sounded like a chicken. All right, I'm gonna hide the yokes. Let's get our aircraft fired up. Well, let's get it loaded up first. Let's go payload. 259 nautical miles. We need a little bit more gas than that. So let's go ahead and go 105. That brings us 410. 2.5 hours of endurance. That should be plenty good. We don't want a whole lot of fuel for where we're going because we are flying to a high altitude airstrip. That is a short strip on the side of a mountain. So we're going to try to keep our payload within reason here. We'll get 2 pilots up front.
Check 122.8.
Loud and clear, 22.8. I may not be on 22.8 though. Oh, I am on 22.8 on that one. This is going to be an interesting test, running both sand tensions and IVEO at the same time. This is going to be very interesting. See how this pans out. Who we taking today? Let's go ahead and let's take a couple packs in the back. Let's try. What's my weight? 27. 20. Yeah, we don't have the turbocharger on this one, so we gotta be careful. 2 passengers, maybe like 10 pounds. Oof. 2745. All right. Yeah, that should be good there. That should be good. All right, payload is set. Engine, everything is looking brand new. Do you guys want to see the engine initializer stuff? Normally, I kind of see this as cheating mode for myself when I go to start the engine because I don't want to know what's happening. If it's giving me a hard time, I want to figure it out. But that's just because I have real world experience to rely on, albeit it's been a very, very, very long time since I flew a piston. But like, you know, is it flooded? Is it vapor locked? But well, I'll try to use the visualizer a little bit more today because this is a really cool feature. I wish I had this when I was a flight student so you could visually see what's happening here. Like I remember teaching students all the time about vapor lock and flooding the engine and etc. But you draw it on the whiteboard back then. Now you have a wonderful model. You can just simulate it and play with it here on the computer. So it is an incredible teaching tool. It is a very incredible teaching tool. So we'll leave that up for engine start. But everything else looks good. So let's go ahead and get the battery switch on. That's the hydraulic power pack. All right, hydraulic power pack's coming online. We'll get the alternator online. We'll get the nav lights online. Let's go ahead and get the anti-collision light online. It's hot, so we'll leave the door open for engine start. We'll do a quick magic barrel ref. We'll bring the keys to the ignition. We'll make sure the park brake is set. Fuel selector is on both. And what we'll do now is we'll go fuel pump on. And we are looking for fuel pressure. I really triggered someone when I said fuel flow on the last one. Got to have at least 5 gallons an hour. Give it about 1, 2, 3, 4. That should be good. Bringing it back. We'll crack the throttle. Mixture actually stays full rich on this one. Fuel pump comes off. And let's go ahead and see our visualizer. And I got to move this over to the side so I can clear prop. All right, clear prop. Right, left, both. You see the magnetos, right, left, both, and start. Oh, that was a good start up there. That was pretty good. Perfect amount of prime. Bring that engine back down to 1,000 RPM. Once we get it started up, immediately start bringing that mixture back to the lean. Don't go too far or else, let's see if we can trigger it. Cut it. I don't want to kill it. We'll just bring it back to the lean area right now. Bring the throttle down to 1,000. Let me get you a throttle cam up so you can kind of see what's going on here at the mixtures. All right. Let's see, we got a good start. Oil pump is running oil through. We'll look at this in cruise too because this is a great teacher for understanding these systems. Let's go ahead and get the electric pitch trim on. Avionics master switch on. Let's close the door. And then we will open the window. Do I have to latch the top? Yeah, let's go ahead and make sure that is closed. Closed and latched. Magic barrel ref, we already done that. We are on 122.8. Let's go ahead and run a quick and dirty checklist here. After start checklist. Oil pressure, we verified alternator and ammeter, volt, engine instruments, lights, avionics, storm scope. We will turn, this was on. Let's go ahead and just turn it on. I love how that cross fades in there. Storm scope is on. I don't think we're going to be able to use it today. Directional gyro set to magnetic. So let's go ahead and sync our heading bug to the DG. So you can see right now we are facing about 275. So we'll push that in. We're going to spin this sucker all the way around to 275. Right about there. That's close enough. 275. Cabin vent heat as desired. So we need the cabin vent open because it is hot in here. Matter of fact, we taxi with the door open. Is that frowned upon? We'll taxi with that door open too because it's just hot in here. Alright, make sure it's lean park brake, nose wheel steering, we'll check that, and then we're going to go actually do a full run-up in this aircraft. Okay, now, before we go and do a full run-up in the aircraft, I want to show you as we kind of let everything get into the green here. So our oil temp is still in the yellow. This was a cold start, even though it's warm outside, it's 91 degrees. We're going to let the engine come to life here, and I'll put the noise-canceling headphones on so we can do our quick flight plan. I'm going to show you our route of flight today, and then I'll explain how we're going to navigate, where we're going to navigate to. Let me get the window brought up here. I got to go to this window for this. It's just easier because I have a Sky Vector link for this one here. So There we go. All right, so for today's, this is kind of what, this is an overview of what our flight's going to look like. We kind of make this L-shaped flight plan. We're going to take off out of Kern Valley, and we're going to hopefully get enough altitude. There's an exit plan that Fly Navy sent me, but we might just wing it. Once we get established, I'd like to make the turnaround, come down Isabella Lake, kind of come out this way if we can, and make our way to our first VOR to give us an idea of where we're going. That's going to be the Shafter VOR, which is 115.4. So let's go ahead and put 15.4 on our nav1 radio. We'll swap that over. Probably not going to get any NDBs or anything like that. Make sure we are in loc mode. All right. Not going to get any signal, rather, is what I'm trying to say. Not going to get any signal while we're up in the valley here. But from Shafter, we're eventually going to make our way out to the coast, which is going to be San Luis Obispo or Morro Bay, which is 112.4. So let's put 112.4 in the standby one, and let's put it in the active. Let's put it in the active number 2 radio. All right, so we've got the 112.4 in the active number 2 radio. Our rest of our route of flight, after we hit this VOR, we may not go all the way to the VOR. We're going to use this this RNAV unit to bring us to Hearst Castle. All right, so Hearst Castle is right here, and there is a pretty big landmark in Microsoft Flight Sim that will show us the castle, which is pretty cool. So I'm not going to really abide by the MOAs and the altitudes and the airspace today, because I just want to fly. I don't want to have my chart up and, you know, trying to deviate through airspace. I want to get pretty low, and I want to enjoy some of the graphics of the sim. We're going to fly up the coastline, and we're going to use the 511 unit to get a radial and distance from the castle. And actually, I could tell you, we can actually set this up right now. The castle is located from SkyVector. I don't know if you can, it's kind of hard every time I zoom in, but that's why I love SkyVector though for this type of nav, because it tells you exactly what you need. In order for our navigation unit to work, we are essentially going to move a VOR to where we want the waypoint to be, and then we're going to track to that waypoint like a VOR. So what I'm going to do is we're going to essentially make our avionics move this Morro VOR over to the castle, and we do that by telling it what radial and distance do we want to fly to. We want to fly to the 307 radial at 33 nautical miles. So this won't work right now because, number one, it's got to be off the number 1 nav radio if we want to track it, and we also don't have a signal right now, but we can do this while we're waiting on the ground and have it set up for when we're airborne. So the first waypoint, the castle, we said it's going to be radial 307 radial. All right, and the distance from the VOR is 33 nautical miles. So let's put in distance of 33 nautical miles. That's going to be our waypoint 1. All right, 307 radial, 33 nautical miles. VOR DME, we could see if we're actual bearing tune, all that. We'll go over that in flight. We don't have any signal right now. And then we can also set up a second nav waypoint for the airport when we get up in cruise and we're actually picking up our bearings and distances. So right now we've got one waypoint set up, 307 at 33. We've got our VOR set up. Everything else looks good. You've got a rough idea of what our flight plan looks like. So the last thing we have to do is figure out how we're going to get out of here. So we're going to taxi out to, we got to figure what the wind is doing. Where's there a windsock around here? There is a windsock over there. So let me go to Kern Valley information page. Yeah, winds are 330 at 12, gusts 19. Really? Okay, so we want to taxi to runway 33. There's no charts available for this airport, or 35 rather. So we're going to just have to taxi out to runway 35, which is going to be relatively close by. It's going to be right over here, although the windsock doesn't look like it's blowing that direction. Kern Valley traffic, Commander 791 Romeo Bravo, going to be taxied runway 35, Kern Valley. Alright, so brakes released. And taxi light is coming on. We'll use the
Clear Valley
after that.
traffic, November 511 Kilo Golf, also taxi runway 35 behind the commander, Kern Valley.
All right. Here we go. Let's listen to our engines a little bit louder while we are going to make our taxi out here. What was the nav bearing for the Castle? 303 vodka? I'm sorry, 307 at 33 nautical miles off the Morro VOR. 307 at 33 nautical miles. If I had Hearst money, I too would build my castle in this part of the world. Yeah, right, dude? No kidding. All right, as we continue to climb out, Magic Barrel Ref says the altimeter is, let me zoom in on it there, 2990. So that is 2990. Altitude for our flight today, initially, let me look at Sky Vector while I'm taxiing. Not a good idea to do this while you're taxiing. Let's go ahead and just set 8.5 for now. I'll tell you what, let's make it 6.5. Let's make it 6,500 feet for right now. 6,500 feet, and we'll put the vertical speed in a 400 foot per minute climb rate, which is indicated by the white 4. If you were in a descent, you get the yellow light. But preemptively loaded the autopilot for 400 foot per minute climb rate. We're going up to 6,500. The altitudes are going to be a little hit and miss today. We're going to probably change that. All right, here comes our run-up pad, I believe, before we back taxi, right? Yeah. So what we'll do is we'll spin the aircraft around, and then we'll back taxi to 3.5. What is that windsock? I mean, it almost looks like we need to go the other direction. Should we go the other direction? I mean, the windsock would indicate we should take off southbound. What direction is your windsock going?
Yeah, take off south. Like northwest.
I think we should take off. Okay, I guess we'll take off 3.5.
What could go wrong?
Yeah. I mean, unless you think we should go the other way, it might be better going over the lake.
Yeah.
Okay, we'll taxi down. We'll do a whatever the opposite of 3.5 is.
Probably a live weather thing.
Yeah, you see that windsock? We're not going to taxi with all the way. We're not going to take off with that tailwind. If I had the turbocharged one, or excuse me, the turbo normalized Bonanza, I would do it. We're not in a, remember, we're not in a turbo normalized Bonanza today. We are in the naturally aspirated one. So we're going to need to be a little bit more careful. Let's make good aeronautical decisions today. Thrust set's in the house. What's up, my man? How you doing? Yeah, I can feel the tailwind pushing the aircraft here. Literally, while we're taxiing, I can feel it. So we'll go down. We'll flip it around. All right, as we're taxiing out, make sure you do your normal taxi checks while you're taxiing. So your compass is slaved and showing the correct heading with the mag compass. Your turn coordinator as you make the turn. Ball slips opposite of the turn. Wings move as they should in the direction of the turn. Double check our our altitude and barometer and VSI. 0. All right. Now we'll come here. We'll flip it around. Perfect. All right. Let's do a run up here. So we'll go ahead and set the parking brake. We'll close the door. We'll close the window. And let's do a run-up checklist per the aircraft. So run-up checklist. Park brake is set. Flight controls, we verified. They are free and correct. All right. Flaps, fully cycle. Obviously make sure they're not sticking on either side. Make sure they come up as they should. Elevator trim. Neutral. Rudder trim neutral. Mixture full rich throttle 2000. Here we go. Full rich throttle 2000 RPM. All right, check magnetos, looking for a 175 drop. Back to both. Both, left, right. Wait a second. All right, we're on both. Let's let this come back up. Both, left. Yeah, okay, they're working. All right, good. Both. That checked. I thought we might have a magneto.
Getting rocked sideways by this wind.
Exercise propeller, 300 RPM drop.
Challenge accepted.
Alternate air test. So we're basically, gosh, I forget. They're in opposite positions. Alternate air. Make sure our gyro suction is in the green. She's in the green over there. Throttle back to idle. Engine persists at 600 to 700 RPM. Rough. We're going to lean that out a little bit. It's pretty rough. It's really hot. Why am I showing? There we go. Get rid of that. Engine persists. Standby vacuum. Pull on. Is it this one? Pull on. All right. Note the increase in the suction. See the increase in the suction. There we go. That looks good. Standby vacuum push off. Pitch trim on. Electric trim exercise. We're exercising it, and trim is neutral. I'm going to run it just a little bit past halfway towards the nose down. We're not going to do the autopilot test because they have the Bruner. We know it'll work. Fuel selector post, windows, doors, altimeters. Autopilot is set. Departure set. Vertical speeds positive. Gyro set to mag. Takeoff heading. Panel lights. Release. Parking brake. We're ready. Normal takeoff. Let's just make sure we're not going to miss anything with the normally aspirated one. Mixture, max power. Landing lights, strobe, altitude. Okay, 27 RPM. And everything looks good. Nothing crazy there. Max continuous. We're going to look for 2700 RPM. Throttle full open with mixture at max power. So we'll lean for max power. Ready? All right. Let's rock. Turk Karen is back as a member. Highway robbery, he says. Welcome back to Commercial Pilot. Hey, man, yeah, don't cancel the memberships because YouTube won't grandfather you in. If you already have your membership, you're grandfathered in. And actually, there's an upcharge now. YouTube changed it. Thank you, man. Welcome back, dude. How's your 220 flight going, Turk Karen? Exercise just to make sure it works. That is correct, FCK. You're just trying to make sure it works. Again, if, you know, like the propeller RPM, you just want to exercise it a little bit, or the alternate air, you're just exercising it real quick. Just making sure you're getting the proper response to whatever you are exercising or moving. We'll squawk 1200. We're on altitude. Let's get out of here. Kern Valley traffic. Commander 1 Romeo Bravo departing runway 17. It's going to be straight out departure over the lake. Kern Valley. Okay, fuel pump can stay off. Pitot heat, we don't need it. It's hot. We'll go instrument lights can stay off. Strobe lights are on. Everything else is on. Headsets off for max volume. Clear right. Clear left. Let's go flying. Flight Force, my man. Good to see you, dude. 53 months of support. How you been, bud? All right, so we're going to have a right crosswind. Now, there might be an expanded in the manual about max power. When I was taught to do max power takeoff in the mountains, we would set, you hold the brakes, we're going to set full power, and then I'm going to lean to make sure we're getting a full 2700 RPM and full power fuel flows. I don't know if that's different procedure in the Commander or not, but that's how we would do a max power takeoff. So let's go ahead and set max power. So brakes are set, power's coming up. Remember, we don't have a turbo, so not going to hear that whining sound. Power is set. I'm going to watch my fuel flow. Look at my RPM, it's a little bit low. Look at that RPM. That's going to drop right there. It's 26 feet. That's about all she's got. Power set, brakes released, a little bit of right crosswind. Here we go. Yeah, I need that left rudder. This was a good call. This was a good call going this direction. All right, rotate. Golly. Positive rate. Look at that weather vane. Here up. Look at that yaw effect there. All right. Gear is up. We're pitching for climb. I guess I should have set my heading like that.
Traffic number 511, go, starting 17, off the light calling.
Call it about 210 on the heading. I'll go ahead and turn on my...
646 South Whiskey lining up 17.
I'm going to turn on my headset here so we can hear the other radio calls. All right, gear is up, power is set, prop is just on the red line. Let's just back it off just, 50 RPM. Just get it off the red line. Let's be nice to Nick's airplane here. Getting a little bit of electric trim in there. These airplanes fly so nice. I said it in the last stream. I'll say it again in this one. The Commander 114. It almost pains me to say this because I love the Bonanza so much. I like in real world and just in the sim world, and it's I love the Bonanza. But guys, I think I like the 114 better than the Bonanza. It just it's got got something else going on. It's a really nice airplane. All right, pitch power is set. We're doing a max power climb here. Let's keep climbing. We'll get away from the airport here. We'll make sure we get some altitude below us before we head down the valley. Max continuous climb, so airspeed 91 knots. We're pretty much doing that. Maybe a little bit fast. I can get a little bit more trim. Throttle full over 2700. Max power we set. Cow flaps, oxygen, engine performance monitor. So everything is in the green. Engines are all in the green. Fuels are all good. We're probably not going to get... Oh, maybe we started picking up nav 1 here. We might have just started picking up some nav 1. Looking for 91 knots. We were a little bit off. There's panel light on. Not quite. So we're at just a hair fast. That's all right. Don't need the instrument lights yet. Roughly that 210 heading. We're flying VFR, straight VFR now. We're aiming for the valley. Yeah, the sounds are awesome, dude. But see, all of BlackSquare sounds are awesome. I don't know what else to say other than there's some magic that Nick has unlocked again in this aircraft, and you could feel it. Definitely could feel it. Now, let's talk as we continue climbing. 6.5 should be just fine. As we pass through 5,000 feet, we'll be able to go 6.5 through this valley. We'll pop out on the other side and we'll be able to start navving towards the VORs. But since we don't have the turbocharger on this aircraft,
Kern Valley traffic, Lima Victor Echo Romeo, left downwind, runway 35, Kern Valley.
As you continue to climb, you're going to want to lean the aircraft as you continue to climb up in altitude. Unlike when you're turbo normalized and you don't really start leaning until you've reached critical altitude, according to most manuals. Some SOPs will dictate differently because I flew for an operator that we just leaned ½ inch every 1,000 feet, no matter what. And it's like, okay, well, that's how they want us to fly it. That's how we're going to fly it. But anyway, in this particular aircraft, we already leaned for max power on takeoff, so we're already ahead of the game. But as we continue to climb, you are going to want to start just, that's a good habit to keep just, every 1,000 feet, maybe just a 1/4 inch or so. Keep an eye on your fuel flow as you lean. If you start leaning too much, you'll hear it, and it is modeled. Boris, he even just said, try some of the damage sounds later in this flight, fouling, damage, knocking. You can really mess with it. Yeah, you definitely can. And Nick did a really good job of highlighting that in his BlackSquare video when he was talking about sounds. But don't be afraid that, I'm just going to shut, the engine's just going to shut off. No, you'll actually start hearing the engine run rough. And I'll mess with it because we've got a pair of crews too. Yes, this is Boris audio sound. This is Boris audio. And Hotshot's in the house right now. Hotshot in the chat is Boris Audio Works. So hope all is well, man. Haven't talked to you in a while. Hope the flying's good. Hope all is well, Boris. Alright, once we get up here to 6.5, we'll level her off. Let's look at normal climb is 2,500 RPM. So what we can do, let's go ahead and bring the prop back for the last 500 feet here. Get a little bit of turbulence as we get over these mountains here. That's normal. 2,500 on the RPM. Once we get up to cruise, anywhere between 22 and 27 and 15 and 24. Who dat?
Always a pleasure to catch you streaming.
Hey!
Enjoy the steam gauges. I don't really get to fly anymore on account of some medical issues. Cheers.
F14 Dom, thank you so much, man, for the $20 bank angle check, my man. I appreciate you. Glad you're enjoying the stream, dude. Well, hey, man, it's a bummer about the medical issues for sure. But you know what? We've got our Microsoft Flight Sim. Hopefully that can scratch a little bit of the itch, my man. Thank you so much for the support, F14 Dom. Appreciate you, my man. And he dropped 20 gifted subs right there. Thank you so much, man. I appreciate the support on the channel. I know you've been a long-time supporter, a member of the community. So, again, it goes... I don't want it to go by the wayside. I do truly appreciate your support, my friend. All right. We're leveling 6,500 feet here as Dom nukes my OBS. All right, we're at 6,500 feet. I can actually just turn my vertical speed climb off. We just flew all the way up to cruise altitude. 6,500 feet, we're going to use our S-Tech 60 autopilot, which I did look up what aircraft I was flying with S-Techs, and I did fly the S-Tech 30 autopilot, which was kind of with your turn coordinator based. All right, so what we're going to do here, we're going to go ahead and select heading, altitude hold, and the autopilot is engaged, allegedly, at 6.5. Heading, altitude, hold at about 210. Let's pitch up just a hair. There we go. Let's get that 6.5 locked in. 6.5. Sim Guy 0 dropped 5 gifted subs as well. Thank you, Sim Guy. I appreciate you, my man. Very, very kind, dude.
Kern Valley traffic. Lima Victor Echo Romeo Romeo. Turning left crosswind. Runway 35. Kern Valley.
Zero it out. There we go. I'm going to switch over to center control. 27.1.
Frontier Flight 3315. Out of flight level 290 for flight level 320.
Out of curiosity, for the Iveo, for vodka, follow me on Iveo. Hop on frequency 127.1 and see if I can hear you on 27.1. Thank you again, Sim Guy. I appreciate you, my man.
So far, Frontier Flight 3315.
All right, hold on. I'm doing a couple things here in the background. Let's go full screen cam over here. All right, we're locked and loaded here at 6,500 feet. We'll get the landing light off. We'll leave anti-collision, nav, and strobes on. Let's go ahead and set for a cruise power setting. So we're looking for a prop between 22 and 27. I'm going to go ahead and... Let's go ahead and power to the left to right as we power down. So we're going to set our manifold pressure between 15 and 24, they say. So we can actually juice it up. Let's go full manifold. So we're pretty much, we're at max power. This is where that turbo normalizer, you're going to miss it. So we just leveled off. I got full throttle selected, but I'm only getting 23 inches of manifold because I don't have a turbocharger up here at 6.5. Remember, that turbo normalizer is going to give you max power all the way up till critical altitude. So we're missing that today, but that's just part of the game when you fly the naturally aspirated aircraft. So we've got our power set as much as we can. It's 23. Our prop can be at 22 to 27. Let's come back 23. It's nice and quiet. I like 2300.
Delta 858, descent 13,000 at your discretion.
2300 on the prop is set. And cabin vent heating as desired, air conditioning, engine performance monitor. We're going to lean here in a minute. So cabin temp, 74 degrees. It's beautiful. We're going to leave the vents full open. Let's go ahead and make a little right turn here, heading 240. And what we'll do now is set up our navigation. So we set our first fix was going to be that Shafter VOR 15.4. We should have a nav 2. So I'm going to spin this around. That's from flag. I need the to flag. I went the wrong way on that one. All right, there's our to flag. Let's go ahead and center up the needle. And let's get tracking right towards our first VOR. Shafter. Hardly know her, Dom.
Southwest 3847.
All right, we'll get it in, locked in. Green 251. I'm going to heading over there a tad, and then what we can do, we are in nav 1, so let's go ahead and select nav track, and it's going to automatically track our nav 1. Let's help it out. Let's go 252 on the 252. So we're tracking direct to Shafter VOR. The instrument lights on as we fly into the sun here. All right, locked and loaded. Now let's go ahead and run a lean fine today. So to lean out for our cruise flight at 6.5, I'm going to press this button. If you want to lean rich of peak, or you can press the hidden click spot here and do lean of peak. I believe. There you go, lean of peak. We'll do lean of peak today. Oh, let's do rich of peak. Let's do rich of peak. We'll do rich of peak. Alright, so I'm going to start leaning the aircraft back. You'll see the temp start going up. Keep an eye on those fuel flows. Leanest is cylinder 4. Alright, so we are 27 degrees negative, so let's increase now to positive 50. Real small increments here with the mixtures. I go too far now. I'm burning a lot of gas that way. 12.5. Yeah, for some reason there we go.
Southwest 3662, contact Oakland Center on 132.8 so long. 132.8.
I miss the regular gauges where you just find at peak and then you just go right back with the mixture. And I feel like we're going to choke this sucker out. Alright, that's close enough.
American 3008, climb and maintain flight level 240, report level.
Alright. Alright, so we're leaned out, we're cruising. Vodka City is above me at 1,000 feet. I'm at 5 o'clock. I thought I saw you earlier. Alright. I'm going to unpin this message here. It's about that. Engine stress test now? Well, I don't want to damage it. What do you want me to do with it? You want me to lean it to rough running? I mean, we'll chop it off here. I don't want to chop it off. Luke Fieldhouse, thanks for the 2 hours. I appreciate you, man. What radio applications are you using? Luke, so I'm actually using Say Intentions AI for VFR flight following, although we should pick it up, and I'm on I'm on IVAO for live players, for some additional live players, because not all the people that fly along with me have Say Intentions yet. So I'm doing a test running both at the same time. But while we're leveled off here in cruise, and before we get into the RNAV 511 stuff, let's get flight following, because we're going to be transitioning a lot of airspace. And I'm going to get flight following to Monterey, and then we'll just cancel because Monterey is going to be the closest airport. Flying 6500 such as normal VFR? Yes, absolutely. Yeah, definitely. What center is this? We'll find out here. Center, good afternoon. Commander 791 Romeo Bravo, request flight following to Monterey.
Commander 1, Romeo Bravo, squawk 1131 and ident.
Squawk 1131 ident, Commander 1 Romeo Bravo. 1131 and ident button pressed. Oh, 1131. There we go. Sorry.
Delta 290, climb flight level 360.
I believe it's odd going west, even going east. We're going west, which is even. So the way I remember it...
Romeo Bravo,
hold on.
radar contact 6 northeast of Bakersfield at 6400 feet. Bakersfield altimeter 2985.
Commander 1 Romeo Bravo, roger. The way I remember it is if the FAA, which is the Federal Aviation Administration, right? What the FAA does not do is make anything easy, right? In anything in aviation, the FAA makes nothing easy. If it were easy, east would be even. But it's not easy because it's the FAA. So east is odd, west is even.
Commander 1 Romeo Bravo, contact Bakersfield departure on 119.075.
119.075, Commander 1 Romeo Bravo. Bakersfield, good afternoon, Commander 1 Romeo Bravo, 6,500. We're at the power station at 9
Commander
o'clock.
791 Romeo Bravo, Bakersfield departure. Good evening,
yeah, look at
Bakersfield,
that.
altimeter
Right
2985.
All right, so let's go ahead and continue navving here as we get going. We're passing over the VOR, just pretty dang close from now. Okay, so here we go, looking at our 511. We can see we're 3.5 miles from the VOR. If I put, take the VOR pass-through off. Oh no, hold on. This is, we're getting confused. I'm confusing myself now. This waypoint is not off of this VOR. So we gotta be careful we don't confuse ourselves with that. That's not correct. So if RNAV off, or you could go this and VOR pass-through on. So now, with VOR pass-through on, this is basically just a DME receiver for NAV1. So 15.4, we're 2.2 miles on the 071 bearing from, which is pretty dang close as we go over the top. Let me see our next, are we going to pick up NAV2 yet? I don't think we are. That's a pretty low altitude VOR. Or no, Morro Bay 12.4. Yeah, Morro Bay is in NAV2, and we're not picking it up yet. So we're just going to continue with NAV1. And when I looked at our flight plan, we're basically going to fly the 247 radial is what we want to lock in as we get past it. So to make a nice smooth transition, let's go ahead and select heading mode. Heading mode selected, and I just said the radial and I forget what it was. 247. So I'm going to select radial 247. We're in the cone of confusion now. Our to from flag goes away. Now we're back out on top of it, and you can see that we're just passed over the top 1 mile. So now let's go ahead and kind of ease our way in, get those dots down towards the center, and then we'll go with re-engage nav mode, and we'll continue navigating out towards the coastline. We'll re-engage it. In the U.S., in France, Switzerland, Portugal, Spain, and Italy, it's north even, south odd. New Zealand is opposite nose. Really? That's pretty wild, man. Not even east is safe from the FAA. Do you think making things intentionally harder, maybe not harder, but makes people an extra few seconds comprehend increases cognizance? No, Dom, I would agree that statement is correct, but I don't believe the FAA is that smart to operate that way. So, yes, your statement is true. When stuff is a little bit harder, for lack of better words, we'll go back into nav mode on the 247. We see we're capped and we're soft track mode. I don't think the FAA was that smart. Like, oh, let's say if we make it opposite, it'll be easier for them to remember. Right? If the FAA is not that smart. But, you know what I'm saying. All right. We're finally cruising. That's that Bakersfield down there. What are we passing over? We just passed over the VOR, so that is Shafter Minter Field, actually. Bakersfield would be off of our left-hand side, which I believe, yeah, there it is back there. So that's Shafter Minter Field down there. All right, matcha time. Okay, now that we're finally all caught up for a few minutes. Anybody have any questions? They want to see anything in particular? Before I start asking you guys, I have questions about what's going on. All right, double check our instruments, so make sure everything is good. Everything is looking good here. Engine instruments, fuel is good. We're all in the green. We're trimmed out. Holding a beautiful 67 degrees in here. All our circuit breakers are in. Flaps are up. Old school DME. Oh, let's see if there's any NDBs around here. I don't know. I don't know if anything would be charted, to be honest with you. Let me see if... Are there any chart... Is there an NDB at Bakersfield? On any of the charts? There is. Slayer Farms, frequency 205. Let me see if I can pick up an NDB at 205. Alright, ADF. We need to be in the 190 to 430 range. Pull for volume all the way up. It's working. It might be out of service. Let me see if there's one up here by San Luis Obispo. Let's see if 209, if we can pick up 209 in a little bit. We'll leave 209 up, see if we pick it up as we get closer. As we get closer to 209, we'll see. Stress test the engine. I don't want to disrupt our engine. Let's take a look how everything's running. Look, she's running nice and hot, though. Nice, hot, and clean. You can see how everything's working. We got both magnetos. Everything's looking good on the mags. We got alternate air. We got the normal air coming in. Right, there's our alternate air, which is closed. Oh, that's suction, excuse me. Where's the alternate air? Is right here. Look at that. Alternate air. Perfect. That's working just fine. All our cylinders are looking good. Electrical and cabin. 67 degrees. Pulse ox is 95. Ear discomfort. Now there's... You can change... The only thing is I can't find the click spot to turn up. Oh, there it is. So there's, you can adjust your noise canceling by that click spot there, or mouse wheeling if you're in, what is it, Legacy? Heat exchange, everything's looking good here. No, nothing failed yet. Alright. So we'll leave on the engine, electric. There's our hydraulic power pack and our gear. I know you can always repair engine, but I don't want to. I feel like it's too real, man. I feel like it's too real. We've still got to wait for number 2 to pick up. I'm hoping we can pick up number 2. If we can't pick up number 2, we should be close enough. We're only, if we're 13 miles away, we're only like 70 miles from San Luis. Let's make sure we have that frequency right. 1112.4. 1112.4. Oh, it's not active. Oh, that's nav 1. Ah! Go back. Go back to nav. 1112.4 is active on number 2. But we're not picking it up. Alright, so let's come up with an alternate plan. If we can't get Paso Robles, or Morro Bay rather, we'll use Paso Robles, which is 14.3. Let's see if we can get 14.3 in on nav 2 only. Nothing on nav 2 either. So we might just be too far out. It might be, actually, you know what? It might have to do with the terrain. Might have to do with the terrain up there. So we'll just maintain as is for right now. Time for another intentional diversion. Pixelated, thank you for the 26 months of support. I'm just catching up with the chat now so the FSim boomers don't get upset with me. Did you see the Moza AY90 that was announced? Was that the one that XP72 just did a video of? I believe, if that's, I just saw that today. XP did a video on a new Moza today. Is that the AY290? Hey Vodka, are you on 119er07? Vodka, tune into 119er07 if you can. We should be able to hear each other at 119075. Tune into that frequency and say something. It's awfully quiet. Still there?
Commander 1 Romeo Bravo, go ahead.
Just making sure you were still there. It was pretty quiet.
Commander 1 Romeo Bravo, still here.
All right, cool. I wonder why you can't hear me, Vodka, because I could hear you on the ground. Oh, you know what? It's only on 22.8. I got it. I got an idea, Vodka. I got an idea. I'm going to be on COM 1, but I'm going to put my nav or my COM 2 on 22.8. There we go. Now watch this. If I go to COM 2, .8 radio check. I know why you can't hear me, because I was using a different push to talk for say intentions as well. But I bet Iveo only has that freak. Uh, 22.8. Say something on 22.8 this time. Say something on 22.8. I'd be curious if you could say it on 22.8. I'll turn both radios on. We're 23 miles out. Still tracking. We're still looking good. All right. Let's go outside for a minute. Finally, hit the big dirty 30. Nabil Hamdoui, my man. What is going on, dude? Happy belated birthday to you, Mr. Nabil. Hope you had a wonderful dirty 30, man. I remember turning 30. Good old days, man. Good old days. Just remember, Nabil, it's all downhill from here, brother. It's all downhill from here. Thanks for the support. So, Nabil, you flying the 220? Who's got the 220? So, I've obviously been paying close attention to 220. Friend of the channel, full flap sim, 220 pilot. We're thinking of doing a dual crew flight on the 220. But, I mean, I told you guys this months ago. looking at the 220 as a real aircraft, it's not like one of my top 5 airliners that I'd want to fly just because I'm just not, man. I think it's a beautiful airplane from the outside, but there's a whole lot of glass in that cockpit. But I don't know. How are you guys enjoying it? Is everybody enjoying 220 flying? I heard there was some dramas. I was glad I was not involved in all those dramas. I had my own dramas yesterday. Flew into Miami. We're on final, ILS 30, coming up from Rio Negro, Medellin. Oh, let's back up. Medellin overnight. Absolute best breakfast I have ever had in my career as an airline pilot. From my new operator to the last 10 years of my previous operator to my regional operating years, I was at this hotel up there in Rio Negro, and it was amazing. I had 2 omelets and 6 pieces of French toast. There's peacocks flying around. It was a beautiful overnight. But anyway, so we flew up. It's a 4.5 hour flight, essentially. Maybe not quite that long. Maybe it's like 4 hours, 3.5, something like that. Up to Miami. 37 knot wind shear loss on final. I'm talking stick shaker status. So aircraft in front of us goes around. We go around. We start holding. We looking at our fuel, and we come up with our own bingo numbers. We're looking at the weather moving in, and this weather, it's so slow to develop, and it's right over Miami. It's just this big wall thunderstorm. So we eventually we hold for a little bit. We eventually decided it's time to punch out. We're going to go divert. So we go do our diversion. But guess what? We're an international diversion now. So now when you're an international divert, we diverted to an airport that didn't have full-time, well, there's not a whole lot of airports right there in South Florida, unless you're Miami or Fort Lauderdale that has 24/7 customs. So if you don't get customs prearranged, when you're an international divert, everybody's got to stay on the airplane. So you can imagine, it was about 4 hours. I think we were airborne for almost 5 hours on the first leg with the holding, because we obviously went around, we held for a while, then we diverted. So we were almost airborne for about 5 hours. We get on the ground to our divert airport. We diverted up over on the west coast there. Had to fly around the weather. Nobody can get off, so everybody's, everyone's got to use the lab, and we're scrambling everything back together to go back to Miami. We eventually get our paperwork, get everything buttoned up. We're headed back to Miami. We get in pretty uneventful, but then guess what? Because of all the operational meltdown happening with the thunderstorm, the ramps are just a parking lot. There are planes parking in spots that I've never seen planes park before. Like I'm talking, they had airliners up on the south what is that, South Runway 9? Like on the approach end of 9 on that taxiway out there, just parked because nobody could get to the ramp. There was some, the ramp congestion was bad. Planes couldn't push. Planes were on the ground trying to get to those. So we sat on the ground for a good little bit, and we finally got a gate open because we were a high priority, because you can only have so much ground time with an international flight like that before there's some fines that take place. Like they essentially call it you're essentially hostage holding passengers on board for too long, and start fining the company. So we're cognizant of that, trying to make sure we're not on the ground too long without a gate. So they priority rush us a gate. We get an open gate. We skip the line. We're ready to go to the open gate, but we can't get there because the way the aircraft are parked in front of us, and no one's got their engines running. And then as we finally start making our way to the gate, they have to steal our open gate because there was a medical emergency gate return. So now we go back to the holding area. We're still waiting for a gate. We finally get a gate. We park, go through customs, go all the way over. I still had one more leg that night, but we ended up timing out right about midnight, or actually just prior to midnight. So luckily for me, I was able to, that released me from today's flying, because like I said, I wasn't even supposed to be here today. But that's how I ended up streaming today, because I got timed out, had to have so much off time, and there was a delayed flight back home, so I was able to hop on that and run back home. But yeah, it was a very long 4-day trip turned 3 days. Like, I don't even remember day 1 of the trip. I really don't. I don't remember day 2 either. I just remember yesterday. But that was my little, that's why, I've been gone. I've been getting used and abused. But super cool captain. He was a P3 guy. Did sub hunting for 25 years or something like that. So a lot of fun stories. Overall good trip though. Performance is not good on the 220. I did hear someone say there's like a memory leak with the 220, right? I wasn't sure if that was true or not, but yeah. I'm kind of hesitant to jump in on the 220 right away. I might let it marinate for another patch. Do you dislike the 220 for the same reasons you don't like the 350 or 7.8? Jeremy? Yes. Yeah, pretty much, man. Just, to me, it's not, in terms of real world aspect, like, it's just not a great airplane, in my opinion. I mean, it's a beautiful, I think the outside looks beautiful. I think it's a beautiful looking airplane. But they're uncomfortable to ride on. They're loud. It's, you know, it rides like a friggin' skateboard, right? The, anytime you crack the speed brakes, your stomach goes into your throat. It's got a bunch of bugs, real world, you know, like the airplane itself has real life bugs. So if it were me, you know, I'd be E190 E2, you know, would be something I would like. But I'm sure we'll fly the 220. I did see, I mean, I do think the Moxie livery, why can't I think of their actual airline name? Breeze. I do think the Breeze livery is pretty cool on the 220. Also, the Trans-Canada, is that out yet? I'll make a deal with you guys. As soon as that Trans-Canada International Airlines livery drops, whatever, it's like a matte gray with the red, that's the day we fly the 220. Until that livery comes out, I'm going to kind of wait a little bit. I'm going to wait a little bit. I'm getting all kinds of spam calls today. Don't worry about it. If you want the Commander is way more exciting release. I'm going to be honest with you. I like it. I think that I've told Kiwis do fly. You probably know this because you've been a member of the channel for a long time. But like I said, if I could have it my way, we would do GA and prop streams and turboprops all the time. Because in my opinion, or not even my opinion, just what I like to do, like what's fun for me, I like this kind of flying. I think this is fun. You get to really enjoy the sim for the beautiful graphics that we have. You know, you get to experience things that when you're up there cruising around at 35,000 feet, you don't really see any of it. I mean, you do see some of it. You see sunsets and all that stuff, but the solar farms, exactly. So I truly enjoy this type of flying in the sim. So whenever we get a new release, whether it's a BlackSquare or, you know, some other, like when another GA comes out, I'm typically on it. Unless it's an airplane that I'm just really don't like in particular. You know, like the Lancer, Flight Somewhere reached out to me about the Lancer to do some Lancer coverage. I just don't know if I have the heart to do it justice, because the Lancer, for some reason, it's one of those kind of, just like, one of the GA planes where I'm kind of like, Now, their 414 I love, I think is great too. But for the most part, all GA airplanes, man, I get super excited for that. And biz jets. Only reason I haven't bought this jet is because I have so many other GA to fly. I hadn't flown the Bonanza in 2 months. Yeah, and we flew biz jets for 6 weeks. Yeah, well, we're going to fly biz jets again, too. I know the Falcon just had another update, too. F-14 Dom just crashed my OBS again. A 50 gifted membership from F-14 Dom. Man, thank you so much, dude. I appreciate the love and support today, F-14 Dom. I appreciate you, my man. If you guys pick up a membership from Dom, make sure you shout him out, say thank you. That is a massive, massive boost for the channel and memberships, and your support cannot be understated, man. Thank you so much, man. I really do appreciate you, Dom. I hope you enjoy this stream, my friend. I hope you enjoyed this stream. Do you like the PC-12? Yes, I like the PC-12 Real World a lot, TJ Moss. And matter of fact, I've been kind of thinking about, hopping in and trying the PC-12 again, the NGX version. Is the SWS one in 24? I know I own it in 2020. But the reason I've been thinking about the PC-12 is because my good buddy Chris PT6, you see him in the chat every now and then, he sends me PC-12 NG footage and cool stuff. So The PC-12 I do enjoy. I just wish we had a good rendition of one in the sim. SWS, they swung and they missed in 2020, in my opinion. It was so close, but then there were some issues that just with the interlock, the way they tried to model the interlinking between the flight model was so weird. And I know what they were trying to do. They were trying to make it realistic with the interlock, with the aileron and the rudder, but it made it do some weird stuff, you know? So I'm not saying it was bad by any means. I kind of fell out of love with it quicker. You know, some airplanes, even though I really like them, I'll fall in love with them and I stay in love with them. Some other airplanes, I may really like the idea of them, like the PC-12, SWS, but because of certain things, whatever it may be, something is in that airplane that I fall out of love with it much faster. You know? For instance, the 414. So the FlySimWare 414, absolutely love it, man. I think it's a wonderful airplane. It's great sounds, great systems. I love the airplane in real world just as much as I love it in sim world. But in sim world, I've fallen out of love with it because it feels too sterile. Because I've been introduced to the BlackSquare with the maintenance and the accumulated damages and things of that nature, right? So I fall out of love with that airplane faster because in SimWorld. Chris Pratt? No, Chris PT6. Chris Pratt, Chris PT6. Yeah, Joe Plans, what's up, man? I will say the 220 trim system is super intuitive, adds extra level of engagement over the 320X. Yeah, so Tom Clayton, what's really cool about that trim, that's exactly how the 777 is. So, we're going to have to start talking nav stuff, so get your notepads ready. About ready to do some RNAV 511. We're picking up number 2 nav radio. So the A220 pitch for trim speed, that is exactly how the 777 works, except the only difference is you don't see your trimmed speed on the PFD. Now, the PMDG 777 has an option where you can toggle that on, and you can see it in the sim. But to my knowledge, you cannot actually see the trim speed in the 777, in the real 777. But that technology of trimming for that specific speed, that is pretty cool. That technology, I think, probably came, I don't know where it came from, but I know Boeing was one of the first to do it because that's how they were working that 777 with the fly-by-wire. So pretty cool. I do like how on that 220 it shows you that speed that you're trimmed for. That's just a great feature. I mean, great SA. It seems so simple. Oh, that's the speed I'm trimmed for. But in a broader spectrum, there is a lot of information you can gather knowing exactly where your trim speed is and what the airplane is doing. So I think it's a great design. All right, so we're picking up Morro Bay, right? Let's get it dialed in. Let's go direct nav 2. That's about heading at 240, or course line 242 there. So what I'm going to do is we're going to just flip it over. We're going to go 12.4 active 1. Now the reason we're going to go 12.4 active 1, I'm going to center the dial there like that, and we're going to go back into nav mode. We're at soft track nav mode. The reason I want to keep nav 1, the primary nav source, even though we're going to use our RNAV 511 to find Hearst Castle here, this gauge is going to the way I understand it is the only way you can autopilot track from this unit is if you are using the distance from the primary nav receiver. So that's why we're going to keep it in nav 1. Now I'm not entirely sure if it's working as intended because I was able to do a nav 2 track with the RNAV 511, so I might be misunderstanding that from the manual perspective. Maybe it just means this entire substack of nav radios, or I might just be misunderstanding it. But either way, we're going to keep it in nav 1. So right now, if I put you in VOR pass-through mode, we're on the 0. Oh, I'm not going to tell you. Hold on. Chat, what's our +2 -2 rule? Somebody said they've been flying for, 20 years, and they never knew the +2- rule, and I just opened their world. So every time I get an opportunity to do it, let's go ahead and go over it again. The +2 -2 rule or the -2 +2 rule. To find a reciprocal of the radial that you are tracking, you either +2 and -2, or you subtract 2 and add 2. So for instance, if I'm on the 242 radial, or 242 to the station, what is my reciprocal? Well, let's use the +2 -2 rule. 2 + 2 is 4, -2 is 2, 422. You can't have a radial 422 unless you're Chuck Norris, rest in peace, because there's only 360 degrees in a circle. So we know +2 in this particular case isn't going to work. So what's -2? -2 is 0, +2 is 6. So that would tell me I'm on the 062 radial, or bearing. There we are, 062 bearing. So remember, always use that to your advantage. It works for almost all of them. There's a few radials in there where you're going to have to do your own math because you can't really add or subtract 2. But anyway, 90% of your radials you'll be able to do the +2 -2 flip around. There's a couple oddballs like 003, or like let's say 005. You can add 2, but you can't subtract 2 from 0, right? So you got to do a little bit more math on that one. But in general, that'll get you going, the +2 -2 rule. All right, we're tracking 242 to the station. We're in VOR pass-through mode, which means my RNAV is just giving me DME. We're 17.8 from the station. Now, what I want to set up is, wow, this is beautiful as the fog and the sunset starting to pop up here. Let me show you our nav. We are looking for Hearst Castle, which we determined was right here. All right, I put a dot on it, and this segment off of this VOR was 307 at 33. 307 at 33. So we're going to move the VOR to be 307 at 33 nautical miles. That's what I have set up. That's waypoint 1. I'm going to take off pass-through mode. Now my RNAV is on, and you can see it changes. We're 42 miles from Hearst Castle, and we're passing the 287 bearing, which would make sense if I look at my heading. We know we need to go towards the right to go to that waypoint. We're going to wait until we get a little bit closer because I want to go up the coastline. We could, in theory, right now, we could switch this localizer source over to RNAV, or excuse me, over to nav, okay, or GPS rather, GPS, and then we can track directly to. So if I wanted to turn right now heading 290, that's us. 2772, Commander 1 Romeo Bravo. We'll see you. Santa Barbara, Commander 1 Romeo Bravo, level 6,500.
Commander 7901 Romeo Bravo, Santa Barbara departure. Good evening, Santa Margarita, altimeter 2988.
2988, Commander 1 Romeo Bravo. All right, 2988 on the altimeter is set. So essentially what we've done is we've moved this VOR, the 112.4 VOR, we've moved it to where Hearst Castle is, and this is our new navigation to that waypoint. And what we're going to do once we get a little bit further west, because I do want to go up the coastline here, once we get a little bit closer, so let's leave it in pass-through mode so we can see our actual range to the VOR. Pass-through mode, we're 12 miles out. Once we hit the VOR, we're going to switch our tracking to not follow the VOR radial from our current position. We are going to track to the Hearst Castle waypoint that we've made just by creating a radial and distance. Now, it will work as long as we have good signal to the station that we're using. Example, it's important that you know this when you use this nav unit, because if you followed along in the Barry Seal series, we were using this in the Duke, and if you lose signal, you're going to end up flying off into Never Never Land. So we know Hearst Castle, we've based it off this VOR, but if for some reason we lose the VOR between halfway, we need to figure out a new way to identify this waypoint, or else we're not gonna be able to nav to it. A backup option, we've got the Paso Robles VOR here, 14.3. We could do a quick and dirty Paso Robles 14.3 waypoint bearing distance if we need to. So we've got that in our back pocket, 14.3. before we make the turn, we can also set up the airport. I think the airport, it's not on here. I think the airport is right here. So I'm going to put a waypoint here.
Alaska 3356.
And we'll
Santa
nav
Barbara
track
departure,
that
climb
here
and
in a
maintain
second.
1000.
Let's set a waypoint to off Big Sur. I don't know if we'll get signal though from there at that low level. You know what I'm saying? With the terrain, we might have to do it off of Salinas. So let me get a Salinas VOR. All right, so I think this is the airport. The Salinas VOR is going to be the 344 at 19. So I'm going to set up 344. Just as a reminder, 344 at 19 for when we get up there closer. I think that's where this airport is. And again, we're going to have to switch nav 1 to be Salinas, but let's go ahead and find the castle first. So we'll get rid of the nav. We know where we're going. If we go out of VOR mode, we need to be a roughly 300. We're 6 miles from the VOR. We could definitely make the turn now, but look at this. This is why I love GA. Look at this beautiful shot right here. Let's go over the top of the VOR. Let's get a little bit closer. That way we can go up the coastline. And we'll drop down to maybe 4 or 5 or so, maybe even lower, maybe down to like 2,500 feet. I kind of want to jump into another GA multi. What would you recommend from BlackSquare? The Baron is epic, dude. The Baron series for GA, especially for a beginner, or I don't know if you're a beginner, but if you want to jump into multi-engine GA, I think the Baron is a great option. I would recommend the Baron over my beloved and favorite Duke series from BlackSquare, only because the Duke is a little bit less forgiving. All right, the Duke has got a lot of power. It's very fast. If you're not on top of it, you can get behind it, and it can be a little bit more challenging to operate. So I think the Baron is a wonderful twin to get into it. I think once you master the Baron, then you buy the Duke series, because there is definitely a difference. The Duke is like the Ferrari. The Baron is kind of your... If the Duke is the Ferrari, what's the Baron, chat? Like a... I'm trying to think of a car that would be a Baron. Mazda Speed 3. Mazda 6. It'd be a Mazda 6. The Baron is a Mazda 6, and the Duke is a Ferrari. All right, we're getting ready to go over the VOR, so let's go ahead and set up our own heading to. It's roughly heading 303, so let's go ahead and track this. Let's go heading mode. Let's just start the turn. Let's just fly VFR. Let's turn about heading 300. We can't descend too low just yet because we don't want to lose the signal to the VOR. But as we make a turn over here to about 300, we're going to now configure our navigation to track off of the 511. So make sure your VOR pass-through mode is off. It is off. We're then going to press to the source button. You see ETN, and we're going to put you in GPS. All right, now we're going to select 305. And then we're going to select nav. All right, we are in soft nav mode, and it's going to track to our waypoint that is allegedly Hearst Castle. We'll see how accurate it is. All right, so we're synced up. We're tracking 3052. To back us up, old school ways, let me Lose nav 2 radio is just kind of sitting out there by himself. I tell you what, so in the nav 2, we're going to set up something different. Let's put Paso Robles in nav 2. Paso Robles is 1143. So nav 2 radio, we're going to make 14.3 active. And I'm going to shoot a radial off of it, which is going to be the 257 radial. Alright, so I want 257 on nav 2. Right about there. 25557. So, theoretically, this is how we're going to back up our navigation. Theoretically, we're just fine with this. We're 3052, we're tracking, we made the waypoint, cool, we're 29 miles out. If everything is set up correctly, when we get to our waypoint, our RNAV waypoint, this needle should be centered because we should be passing the Paso Robles VOR 257 when we get over the top of our waypoint. So it's kind of a way to back us up. Just kind of a way to back us up there. Now, let's look at the map real quick about altitudes, because I initially, like I said, I wanted to drop down low level. But how are we looking at terrain mode, or terrain features? So let's get rid of PRB. I think we'll be okay to descend a little bit. Let's go down to, we're still technically westbound. Let's go down to 4,500. Vertical speed 200. Vertical speed engaged. Alright, let's go ahead and trickle down. Now as we trickle down, you're going to want to, we'll enrich in just a little bit. Down to 4.5. Baron is more like the Subaru Impreza. It's fun, but you can still say it's a responsible vehicle. It's a good option too. It's a good option too. Over slow right now, Morro Bay. That's your home area. Nice one, DSC. Now I don't want it to get dark. I sped it up. Oh, who's down there below us? I think that's it might be vodka down there. I tell you what, we can cancel flight following, and then we'll end up just going to 22.8 maybe. Don't look now, but an IT meltdown might be underway. Can't get in anything. Turks. Nice. Freaking glad I'm not working. Yeah, the engine sounds amazing, doesn't it, Henry? I didn't know today was a lecture day. Well, you know, I gotta please some of the AFSIMers. One guy got so pissed off because I'm like, does this thing even have an autopilot? Kind of like tongue-in-cheek, like, I obviously know it has an autopilot. I'm just gotta find it with my eyes first. Oh, it's right here. Yeah. Figure it out. Figure it out. He got very upset with me. He doesn't know it has an autopilot right next to the yoke. Okay. Uh-oh. Little stutter there. Going for 1,500 feet. Kevin, is this a loose 3-ship or something? How many guys are flying? Yeah, I think there was like 3 or 4 of us. I might be able to see on the map. Let me go back to...
Commander 1 Romeo Bravo, contact Los Angeles Center on 121.9er.
Yeah, it is a loose... yeah, it is. LA Center to 121.9, Commander 1 Romeo Bravo. See ya! Interesting freak. LA Center, good evening, Commander 1 Romeo Bravo. 6,000 descending 4,500 VFR. I love how the flight sim world is going nuts over the 220, and here we are just pulling on a lovely sunset. Yeah. It's pretty wild, man.
Commander 7901, Romeo Bravo, Los Angeles Center. Good evening, Paso Robles, altimeter 2988.
2988, 1 Romeo Bravo. I tell you what, man. The flight sim community is pretty wild. You guys are pretty wild. Because I'm just kind of, I was watching from afar. Sorry, I didn't know that was still up. I was kind of watching
Alpha 430, traffic 1 o'clock, 10
the
miles,
dramas
same direction
unfold
as
from
turboprop
afar.
at flight
Yeah, I
level
was flying, so I was,
390.
couldn't really keep up with it. But I saw somebody send me something about how like one of the devs like posted something saying that all the streamers were skill issued and all this stuff.
Los Angeles Center, United 1799.
Damn, son.
Flight level 310.
It's pretty aggressive. But
United
probably be a good idea if you
1799, Roger.
let them have the airplane 6 weeks or so before you want them to actually fly it, so they have time to develop their own flow patterns, right? So that's happened to me too, where like an airplane will come out and they're like, yeah, we'll get you on the pre-release list or whatever, but then they just give you the airplane the day that they want you to
United
release the
1427
NDA or
Los
release
Angeles
the
Center, Roger.
content. It's like, well, I don't have any flow patterns. I don't have any knowledge yet. And the way YouTube works, which I used to be this way. I used to be like, especially when I was really trying to grow the channel and was really doing
Skyward
YouTube mostly
5705,
full
good
time,
evening.
because I had a wonderful airline, that Spirit Airlines. I could fly real life whenever I wanted to. There's less as I wanted to.
Southwest 33.
I was really into trying to grow the channel. So on YouTube, pretty much if you're not
Southwest
first, you're last.
3356, Roger.
Kind of how it works in terms of initial, booms of things.
Delta 2197, descend.
And
to
that was
maintain
the
flight
most
level
apparent
270,
example of
expect
that
lower
was
shortly.
when Microsoft 2024 released.
Descending flight level 270.
If you didn't put a video out 2024 right away, I mean, you didn't. It was channels went from tripled in subs,
Delta 2197,
because you're not first or last on YouTube. Same works for software, right?
Commander 1 Romeo Bravo,
So-
contact Oakland Center on 128.7.
28.7 Commander 1 Romeo Bravo. So. Same as for software. And if you when the dev says here's the airplane, NDA's released, of course people are going to just jump on and fly as soon as they can, because they want to capitalize on the opportunity to be first and get make their time worth it, essentially. Right?
SkyWest 5508, climb and maintain
But
flight
yeah,
level
that was an
280,
interesting
report level.
comment from the devs. LA Center, good evening, Commander 1 Romeo Bravo's 5,300 sending 4,500.
Commander 7901, Romeo, Bravo, Oakland Center. Good evening, Cambria, altimeter 2988.
2988, Commander 1 Romeo Bravo. So I hope we don't lose the signal. So here's 66 Charlie Alpha. That's the airport for Hearst Castle. That castle is actually just east of it. So let me enrich it a little bit.
Descend,
Water, what's up, man? Devs are always right. Consumer is wrong.
310.
Yeah, for sure, man.
Down to flight level 310, Skywest 3451.
Lots of drama. Synaptic Discord got taken over by brain-rotted children. Yeah, I heard they shut it down too. I was never in it. I was never in the Synaptic Discord. I'm in so many freaking Discords. I actually left a dozen of them
Down to flight
because
level 350.
I just have too many Discords. I don't have enough time. I don't have enough time for all this stuff, man. But I normally don't get
Skywest 3451,
text
climb flight level
messages
360.
of stuff that's going on in SimWorld because I just don't care. But I guess it was pretty significant. I guess there was some significant dramas. All right, Hearst Castle should be. We're 6 miles out. We'll probably do an orbit over it if you guys are cool with that.
Skywest 3451. Continue
Synaptic did
descent, flight
silently
level
update their
310.
FAQs one day before release.
Flight level 310.
I don't see. I don't know anything about that.
3451.
Either. Saw it today, the route. Oh, the 1000. I know, 24 hours, dude. That A350, man. A350 is just stupid. That Project Sunrise, 24-hour flight, Melbourne to Toulouse, right?
Alaska 1308, Oakland Center, Roger.
6 miles from the castle.
United 1577, proceed direct TV.
There's the airport out here, right?
United
Yeah,
1577.
there's the runway for the airport. So it should be. Oh, I think that's it. Sometimes drone view is better. Yep. That's going to be the castle at 12 o'clock.
Out of flight level 280.
Let's continue going down to 35.
2197.
Let's continue descending. Let's go down another 400 feet a minute. We might lose signal, but we could see it. There it is. And then I'll just go into heading mode. And we'll see how accurate we are. Look, 304 at 4.6. This is, I mean, it's not the most accurate thing in the world, but it is pretty dang accurate, the 511 RNAV unit here. So you could use this not just for finding waypoints. You can use this for if you want to set up a final approach spot. So say you have a runway, but there's no approach to it. You can set up, 3-mile final from that specific runway. You could put that in the RNAV unit, and then now you have something to track. You can actually make a pseudo approach with the 511, like setting up a waypoint, your final approach fix, and etc. Uh-oh. Why is my sim doing that? This is the second lockup. Uh-oh, chat. What's happening? Uh-oh. Uh-oh. I'm gonna end say intentions for a little bit. I wonder if no, we're good. I wonder if running both of those at the same time was starting to catch up to me here. I don't know. I could be wrong. I don't know. Maybe it's just loading the castle. 122.8 radio check.
5x5.
Yeah, we're good to go. Actually, I'm good. All right, so let's go ahead and let's turn the autopilot off. Let's increase the mixture a little bit. Let's get the power back. Let's go down and investigate this castle. That guy's down there way low. Look at that thing. I've actually never flown over this. Now, I think as a kid in elementary school, I want to say we did like a field trip to California and to Hearst Castle. Or maybe I went along with my sister. I'm not sure. I'm going to make a 360. We're going to take a look down there. Gus, what's up, man? Did I already learn to fly an airplane? Yeah, pretty much. Oh, look at that. Look how accurate that was. And our needleless center, 002. I mean, our unit is spot on. What we can do is we can also make a waypoint for the airport that we're going to. If we can't find our airport, we can just land in Monterey, too. But I really want to try to find this runway. I'm going to descend. I'm going to make a descending left turn here, and we'll try to go right in front of the castle, low level. Sound like a plan? Are you cool with that? Power's coming back a little bit more mixture coming in. Let's take our, let's turn our sounds up a little bit. There we go. Yeah, we're going to make this descending left turn all the way around. We'll go right in front of the castle. Yeah, I can't imagine doing a 24-hour flight, Kiwi. And that's why they're studying it, right? They're trying to figure out what time of day, what window do you need to leave for your body clock, etc. The whole Project Sunrise thing. There it is. See? Who here has seen Hearst Castle at 350 in a 737? I bet none of you. This just turns around a point practice right here, although you're doing it in the valley. That is cool, man. Wow. That's a big pool or something. I almost want to fly a helicopter over there and check it out closer. Freaking love GA flying, man. All right, we've seen the castle. All right, so we're going to power up. Mixtures, props, then power. Let's go 2500. We'll break off. We found our area. The light poles, those are trees, Thrustset. Those are tall palm trees. Al, you did a tour there years ago? That's cool, man. That's really cool. All right, power set. We can go up to 2,700. Let's climb up. We got to reestablish where we were going. Essentially, we want to fly 321 for 44 miles. We'll re-nav it up here. I'm going to get the autopilot back engaged. We'll climb up to, let's call it 4,500. That way I can work on finding how we're going to locate this airport now. All right, she's trimmed out. Let's go. Heading select vertical speed is on. And we got to reestablish ourselves. There's a lighthouse further down the coast. Oh, is it over there? So our airport's going to be in the mountains here, so I got to stay inside. Let's go. What do I do? Can you give me 600 feet per minute? All right, let me find. Oh, I think I accidentally closed my navigation. I did. All right, get my nav window back up. You guys have control for a second. We need to fly the. I don't even know. I wish I could draw. Find it on this thing. So it's right after this little lake area. I'm trying to find this airport on SkyVector. That way I can have a window to nav at, but I just don't. I don't think it's going to work that way. We're pretty much flying right at it. Let's come left a few degrees. 300 on the heading. Carmel Valley Vintage on SkyVector. Let me see. Oh, yeah, Vintage. Got you. Perfect. Okay, thank you for that. Let's set up another RNAV waypoint. Let me show you what we're gonna do. So I'm gonna delete all this route right now. So we need to go right here. Carmel Valley Vintage is the airport. So I'm gonna put a waypoint on the airport, on the GPS fix. All right, I'm pretty sure that is it. Let's get a bearing from a VOR that we can track. Big Sur, 14-0. Can I pick up 14-0 on nav 1? Let's see. 14-0 nav 1. Are we going to get any signals? Let's go VOR pass-through mode. Yes, we are. Excellent. So let's put this in number 2 as well. I'm going to do a couple different things. 14-0. 14-0. I want to go. Oh, oops. 14-4. 14. There we go. Direct to the station is going to be about 3-1. About 300. We're pretty much headed towards it. We're getting a little bit unslaved here. Let's see, 315. We're flying, heading 315 right now. Sitting 315. Reslave that. All right. Okay. So, let's find our airport with the 511. From Big Sur, rather, it's going to be the 331. At 19. It's going to be the 331 at 19. So 331 at, oh, coincidentally, almost the same as 331 at 19. All right. Bearing 125. Oh, take the pass-through off. Heading 315, 45 miles. That checks. Okay. So I'm going to put you, we're still in that mode. We need to be 315. 315, 315. Throw you back into nav mode. And we're going to track to our next waypoint. I think we did it correctly. Which makes sense. Waypoint 1, we're 315 bearing. $43 miles and decreasing. Can back it up here. Let's try the signal. Look, see the signal? Yeah. The signal is a little bit weak. So I'll tell you what, let's go into heading mode. Let's go up the coast. Let's not take this single engine out over all these mountains. Let's go up the coastline. We're not in our Baron. We're not in our Duke. Let's go up the coastline here. Let's bring the power back. 24. 24. Lean it out a little bit. We're going to head for the coast, and then we'll just intercept and go inbound. Because as we get this attenuation and everything here with the gauges, that's going to cause the navigation to be wonky as well. Remember, it's not true GPS, like you're not using satellites. So if your navigation signal is a little bit wonky, your RNAV is going to be a little bit wonky. Carmel's a different world even for Cali standards. I know, dude. I love Carmel. Carmel is a beautiful place if you haven't been. Walk around out. Some great crepes. Took my wife to a great crepe place down there. Sorry, I blasted everybody's ears out there for a second. We're in a race to get to this airport for the sunsets. If not, we'll have to divert to Monterey. T-Tut, thank you for the $2 super chat, my man. I appreciate you. It says more GA over interesting POIs, please. Great content. Thank you, man. Appreciate the $2 super chat. Thank you, T-Tut. I'm glad you're enjoying it, my man. Hey, we could be at 35,000 feet in a G1000 regional jet with Pratt & Whitney engines right now. Instead, flying single engine over high terrain. What could be better? What could be better? Drove down the PCH from San Fran to Carmel. Oh, yeah. I highly recommend that for anybody that hasn't done the PCH drive, Pacific Coast Highway. If you have not done the drive in any form, like if you can do the whole coastline, do it. But if you have an opportunity to just do a couple miles of it, or 50 miles of it, do it. It's incredible. Just a different vibe, man. Just a different vibe, totally. A certain airline is in a nationwide ground stop? For what? Who's in a ground stop? I guess I should check my pilot chats. See what see if we get some scuttlebutt. What? I kind of like this livery. Mr. Martini said it's oogly. I think this livery kind of slaps. What do you guys think? Americans in a ground stop? Man, could you imagine if I still work today? Thank you, Lord. Yeah, I'm glad we didn't go over the mountains. Everything is... Oh, wow. Apparently the IOC lost internet and comms. May the odds be forever in your favor. Time to get the hotspot out, boys. Wow. Well, I'm glad I'm not at work today. Alright. Back to the right here. Let's put you back in pass-through mode. 16 miles in the VOR. Wow, look at this view right here. Are you serious? Chat, I'm vibing with this view right here. If you haven't already, please do hit the like button. Been a consistent 200 or so of you in here. Hit the like button for GA content. My goodness. What a view. You can even be more accurate with the RDF computer. For example, the Falcon VOR in Denver is offset by 11 degrees east. So if you create a waypoint off of FQF and 11 degrees to the radial, I see what you're saying. You make your own. Yeah, you definitely could. Yeah. I think this time of day works for this livery. Yeah, this is the perfect time of day. I don't know if I want to be inside or outside. Yeah, there's your PCH drive right there, chat. Look at that. What is that, a little island or is that a tanker down there? Rode the motorcycle from LA to Oregon.
Hey guys,
Heck.
gotta run early. Pleasure flying with you both. Take care.
Take it easy, buddy. We'll see it.
Oh no! Do it.
And then there was one. Bigsby Bridge? Is that up here or do we already pass that? Let me see where we are on the sky. Let me see if I can see our landmarks here. There's a airstrip down here. Simon? All this airspace is technically restricted. It's to save the animals. National Forest. This is why I fly out of SPB. Heck yeah, 1DSC. Oh, I just passed the bridge? Oh, dang it. Oh, is it back there? Dang, we passed the bridge. Some little greenhouse situation going on down there. Man, I almost, if we were in a King Air 200, I'd feel like we're in Jurassic Park 3. You know when they're doing the parasailing? One thing I wish BlackSquare implemented.
Looks like I'm about 10 miles.
What's that?
Oh, 20 miles, sorry. I'm about 20 miles.
Roger that. I'm, let's see, how far are we out? Yeah, it's about the same for us. We're about 8 miles from the VOR. So technically our waypoint, 327 at 26. We got to come to the right. I think we have to climb up a little bit. Let's go back up to 6.5. 600 feet per minute. Vertical speed. Mixture. Prop. Manifold. And once we get to 330 bearing, let's take the 330. Actually, that's close enough. Let's start nav. 330. Kiwi says, one thing I wish BlackSquare implemented is the new used auction feature for me, being able to hop into midlife. Oh, I see what you mean. Like, you know, you pick up an airplane that's already used. I can see that. I can see that. San Simeon was the name of Hearst Castle when he lived there. It wasn't changed to Hearst Castle until it was turned into a museum. The more you know, Aglufu. Wow, I'd see. I didn't know that. That's cool. That's cool. take this into Sea Ranch Airport north of San Fran Airstrip, right on the
Traffic, I'm
edge of
going to
the
head up
ocean.
the coast here a little bit. There seems to be an inlet to that airport just a little beyond this point.
All right, well, let me know how that works out for you. I'm not sure what inlet he's talking about. Oh, maybe going up this way? And you still got to go over that peak. I'm going to come up this way. We're going to look for this lake over here. Whatever feature this is.
You come around the peak to the from the left to the right.
I'm going to commander. I'm going over the top. Yeah, but I see what you mean. Like being able to join a random condition. That would be kind of cool. You don't know what condition everything is in. I get it. I guess that... Well, how's our fuel? Jeez. 50... We're getting low on gas. Kind of low on gas. Quarter tank in each. Hopefully there's not clouds moving in up there. But I can definitely see where that could be beneficial, especially if you're not, you know, flying the same airplane over and over. Maybe you don't have the time for it. So, you know, you just want to hop in and not know what's up. I could definitely see that.
I got weather at the destination.
You have weather for the destination or weather at the destination?
From KMRY.
What's it showing?
240 at 12.
That's not bad.
I don't think it's going to be that.
240 at 12. We're 19 miles out, allegedly. Did we trigger any failures yet? Let me see. Nothing yet. It's the way I like it. I wish you could hide that page. I don't think you should be able to see it until you're on the ground. Alright, 6.5. We're leveling off. I'm going to lean her out a little bit here. Let's bring our power back. We'll save a little bit of gas. 21 inches. How about that? 21 inches. Bring the prop down 2,200. We'll start saving some fuel here. It's about to get spicy. You don't have to look at it. No, I don't want to look at it, T-Tut. I'm fine. But Thrust said he always wants to see what's going on. He wants to spoil the surprises. No headset. Oof. I love the headset on this one. Perfect balance. Look at that shot. The gold bars and the gold sunset on the Gold Coast, baby. Flying to 11 Sierra? Where's 11 Sierra at? TJ Moss, I know, right? That's what I'm telling you, man. I need to mix it up. I've flown into enough K-SANs and KMIAs and DCAs and LGAs. And although, here's the thing, Chad. We have to fly a retro stream at a JFK and TWA because I stayed at the TWA hotel on this last trip. So freaking cool. If you're an aviation history enthusiast by any stretch of the imagination, or even just a little bit, the TWA hotel in Kennedy is freaking awesome. I walked all around. I pre-flight at the Connie, and the Indy Builds JFK has a really good representation of the of that terminal. So I know you get, for some reason, I really want to fly the L10 out of there, but nobody ever wants to watch the freaking L1011 stream, which just blows my mind. So we might have to do MD11 out of there, or we could do 727. But 727 is 727ing. I don't know. Alright, getting a little bit, our nav is getting a little bit unreliable in these mountains up here. What I don't like is these clouds coming in. Native Mad Dog. Oh, you know what, Eamon Burke? Nobody likes the TriStar, AJ. AJ, I hate to break it to you. If you think the TriStar is a TRY star, no man, the 220 seems kind of try as well. I don't know. I'm not enthusiastic about it. The TriStar is, in my opinion, the best AnyBuilds release and module that they have on the market. The L1011 TriStar, for the data that's available for an airplane that doesn't exist anymore, it flies amazing, the sounds are amazing, the performance is great, especially now, the history is amazing, the jet itself is an incredible piece of machinery. The way AnyBuilds allows you to use assistance with importing SimBrief waypoints and still have an old nav unit, come on, man. It's an amazing jet. The L1011 is an amazing release from AnyBuilds. I think it's the best one. And honestly, I think their second best is the 340. I think their 340 is pretty good too. Okay, so we are converging. You can see we're pretty dang close. Remember, we took a radial off of that VOR that may not exactly be where it is in real life, but it's time to start being a pilot now and doing some piloting stuff. So I'm going to put you in heading mode. I'm going to slightly come to the left because you see this valley down here. Pretty sure if I look at my sky vector, we're going to be left of that. And let's drop down 1,000 feet. Let's go 5,500. Thrust set, don't get mad. Oh, that's positive. Whee! I'm just practicing 0 Gs. It's okay, the Aero Commander is, or the Commander rather, is pretty much an aerobatic airplane. Actually, that might be it on the side of the mountain right there. That's it. That's it. Field in sight for Carmel Valley Historical Airport. Alright, let's dive and drive. Let's get flight recorder up. This is going to be a fun approach. We don't have a lot of time because the sun is setting. We can only pretty much enter one way. Their best was the A300, but AJ. No, thanks for $3 super chat. Their A300 was the best on X-Plane. And then X-Plane died. And then their initial release on the A300 was good. But then it seemed like it had issues ever since the release, you know. It was a bummer. But it did receive an update. May have to check it out. But I actually, without doubt, I think the L10, that's the autopilot. The L10
why don't you make a low pass over the field and see which way the flag's blowing?
Yeah, that's what I'm going to do right now. I'm going to drop in, go north to south, I think. Check it out. All right, power's coming back. It's time to do some stuff.
I'm going to
power's
plan
coming up.
for
Excuse me, RPM's coming up.
southerly approach.
Mixture's coming up. All right, let's see. Mixture props, throttles are coming up. Fuel pump's off. Do we use the fuel pump for approach? I think we do. We'll get the fuel pump on here in a second. I'm going to bring the power all the way down. Remember, we don't have a turbocharger, so we can just bring it back. Listen to that cell phone, or that rotary phone. That's the gear warning horn. I don't actually know if you can silence it. I don't believe you can. We get out of this micro switch there in the throttle. Alright, there she is. Now, we're definitely going to want to land north-south because of the terrain. I definitely think we're going to want to land north-south because of the terrain. You're going to be going into, you want to land going into the hill. Alright, I'm going to bring that prop up.
Alright, we're going to give it a go.
Alright, sounds up. I'm going to turn the sim down a little bit, or the sounds down a little bit, but I'm going to turn the headset off so we can hear everything. Yeah, you give it a go. I'm going to make a pass right now. I'm coming in west to east, right over the departure in there. Looks clear, and it actually looks like it'll work out just good. Anybody see a flag down there? Oh yeah. Yeah, we're going to be landing with a little bit of a tailwind, but I think it's going to be the best way to do it. Alright. Props up. Mixture almost full. A little bit slow. That's alright. We'll wait for Vodka and see if we can get eyes on him. We'll extend out.
I went off the end of the runway.
You just went off the end of the runway?
Dude, can't stop.
I told you to land into the hill.
I did.
What airplane were you in? And then there was
Commander.
one. Yeah, I should have been in the Commander. All right, so we've lost one, chat. We've lost one. All right, let's go ahead and set up.
Well, I just rolled down the hill.
All right, we're white arc. Let's come back a little bit. We're going to make an approach here. All right, we're making our approach now, turning downwind base leg. All right, we're in the white arc, flaps 10, gears coming down. Recording's on. Landing lights on, fuel pumps on, props full forward. Let's keep slowing down. Flaps 20. Gauge looks like it's sticking a little bit. Tap on the glass. Alright, full flaps. Whoa. Whoa. Big sinker there. Or low. I'm going to hang it in on the prop. Good thing I'm Barry Seal rated. 70 knots. Just come back a little bit. Oh yeah, you can feel that crosswind. Okay, we're committed. We are committed. There's no going around now. A little fast, a little fast, a little fast. Bring it out, bring it out. Drive it down. Power's at idle. Oh, look. Those wheels shimmy. Whoo! There he is! Hey, we'll get a tow rope. We'll come get you out. There's his wreckage.
That was close for you, too. Turn right, go down the little road, you'll see where I went.
Yeah, I see you. I see you. We'll come get you.
Look at my tracks.
Oh, look, he went right down the hill. Let's go get him. We'll shut it off right here. We'll hop out and go get him.
Well, I couldn't get out. I got stuck against the trees.
Here, let's set a brake. Yeah, we'll walk down to you. Let's lean it out so we don't
If
choke
I only
too
brought
much.
the turbine, I could have backed out of this.
Yeah, you definitely could have. Let's go get our buddy. Hopefully that park brake is set.
That's a healthy downhill.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. I can't believe you stayed up here. I'm surprised you didn't go off the left and go all the way down the bottom.
I was standing on the brakes.
That's right. Barry's coming to rescue. You don't have your avatar where you can get out, do you? Barry Seal to the rescue. Oh no, because we're not in multiplayer. That's why he's in Iveo traffic. There he is. That's right. He's. We don't want to lock on the prop. Oh yeah. Yeah, I don't think you're getting out of there. I think you're just gonna have to hop in my airplane. There he is. Hi. He's stuck. He's stuck as all get out, chat. Listen, Pro pilots only. Pro pilots only. All right, let's go back to our bird. Look at this hill, though. I mean, you don't want to be falling off the end of this.
Yeah, I can't get it off the tree. It slid down that side.
I can't believe he slid it all the way down. All right, let's see if we can turn around, go park, do a little.
Go to the end of the runway, go down to ground level, and then look at level your thing, and you can see how far down it goes.
I mean, look at that! Look at that drop. That's several thousand feet down there. Let's get our flaps all the way up. Yeah, that's definitely a several thousand foot drop. This is a sweet little airport.
Yeah, I didn't go off that part.
I guess the next stream we're going to have to depart out of here with one extra passenger.
Add some more weight.
Yeah, we're going to add some more weight. So right now, let's see, what are we at? We'll have it set up for the... Yeah, we'll have to add another passenger. We'll have to just add the weights up so there's another passenger sitting on someone's lap. All right, right here looks like as good a parking spot as any. Park brake is set. All right, pitch trim can come off. Fuel pump, that should have come off a while ago. Landing, the strobe lights can come off. Flaps are up. Cabin vent is closed. 1000 RPM right here. Avionics master switch is coming off. And idle cutoff. Close the throttle, mags. And that's all she wrote, chat. That is all she wrote. Move that to open. Open the door here. How do I get... Oh yeah, I wanted to see that view. Here we go. Close the door. We left the battery switch on. Dang it. Left the battery switch on. Send in Zippy with the rescue. I know it, man. Oh, that was fun, though. That was fun. Let's take a look at our replay. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to come back in. Because I'm streaming, we don't need to... let's turn... Well, we'll leave that on for now, I guess. We're not going to replay it that way. Let's close the window up. Let's crack the throttle, put the mixture up, put the mags on both. We'll put our lights back on, our avionics on, and our pitch trim on. And let's see if we just put in a replay what happens. Beautiful. Beautiful. Come on, y'all. Was this not fun? Rescue 1 is currently ground stop. Software outage. You're going to have to spend the night. I was still probably going 15 knots when I was... How far did you land down the runway, Vodka? Did you float it? You must have floated it. Right here, I could feel that quartering tailwind. Need to bring the Duke turbine in here. Actually, the Caravan would be a good one. This would be a good strip for the Caravan. Do nose landing view here. Chop it. Let it come down. Oh, I think we greased that too, actually. I think we greased that one. Look, there was the... I mean, I'm hard on the brakes. It's still getting the shimmy there. I don't know what that little lagger was there on the ground. But had that nose wheel shimmy kick in. Let's see how it looks from outside. little two hopper, not bad. On the brakes, trying not to shimmy it. There it goes. Oh, that is awesome. The parts of the airplane vibrating. Let's go back to right about here. Watch this. We'll reset the drone cam. Let's watch this. Sounds up all the way. Oh, chat. We're not. Are we Barry Seal rated or what? Are we Barry Seal rated or what? Absolute textbook. Almost. Pretty good. Pretty dang good. Wasn't quite textbook, but it was pretty good. Alright. Stall warning horn going off. That's going to be it for today, though. We're going to wrap it up there. I'm going to get the track running. Let's see. Tomorrow, I will not be here. I'm going to be daughter's birthday tomorrow. So, or no, her birthday's actually the next day, but we're starting tomorrow. We're going to a little location and have some water slide time. Hang out with the fam. Probably won't be back for the next day or two. Maybe Friday we'll be back. I think Friday we're going to have to do something. It's either going to be a TWA out of the JFK terminal, or it's going to be the 220 in Trans-Canada. If Trans-Canada livery is not out, then it's probably definitely going to be T-way out of the JFK terminal. But, I mean, this was so cool seeing that. Look how the rudder is working there a little bit with the ailerons. Keep it locked in. Gosh, I love this airplane. Nick just crushed it. Key 6, my man. Thank you for the $10 super chat. Says, man, I forgot my commander story. Probably better I don't tell that one in public anyway. I'll send you that story offline. Spend this cash on the birthday girl. Hey, my man. She said she wants her first Starbucks. I'm like, what? What? I don't know. So I'll do that, Key 6. Thank you so much, my man, for the $10 super chat. I appreciate you. Let me know how you almost crashed the commander. I can't wait to hear it. Guys, enjoy the rest of your week. I will see you all Friday, hopefully. If not Friday, it won't be till the week after because I go back out. So until the next one, y'all, stay safe, stay healthy. I'm V1. I hope you enjoyed it. We'll catch y'all probably at a JFK. See you.